friend. I don't know what happened, but I don't know, like for the last few weeks or so, have just like not really been in a knitting mood. I didn't even have the energy to make a video last week, so sorry about that. But today is Saturday, it is my day off, and so I figured I don't have any plans, and this is the perfect time, I think, to just pick my knitting back up. And I'm hoping that through like actually knitting and starting to see a little bit of progress, I'll feel excited about knitting again, if that makes any sense. So of course, we're going to be working on, this is the container that I'm keeping it in, actually, LOL, but we're going to be knitting on our loopy stripe cardigan today. I kept it in this box just because, you know, there's like 500 million balls of yarn, and I kind of wanted to keep them compact and neat-ish, and I saw this empty container and I was like, this is the perfect place to store my cardigan. I'm just gonna take everything out of the box actually. I don't like them just to all be sitting out on my desk. I feel like that's how they end up getting tangled. When was the last time I knit on this cardigan? Whenever the last video that I made documenting this. It's been what? Maybe over 4 weeks at this point. She has just been sitting in that little box, neglected, and I've been saying, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna knit the cardigan today. I'm gonna knit the cardigan this week. I'm gonna work on it this weekend on my days off. And like, I haven't been in the knitting mood. I really have not been inspired. And so I'm hoping that maybe today, you know, we can knit, and then through seeing some of the colors come together, seeing the progress, I will be what am I trying to say? Like reignited, not reignited, but I'm hoping that like my excitement for this project and like maybe just knitting in general comes back, because I haven't been in the mood. Occasionally I do go through periods where I'm just like, ugh, I don't really want to knit, and I kind of just lose my, what's the word? Spark, my like, what am I trying to say? Like I just don't be in the mood to knit. I'm not in the mood to knit. None of my projects seem appealing. And I know it's happening because even casting on something new doesn't seem like something that I want to do. But like I mentioned, today I don't have anything to do, and so we're going to sit and we're going to knit on the cardigan, and I'm actually really excited to make progress for this. I am loving the way that it's coming out so far. We have split on the sleeves, we are now on the body, and so I'm thinking, what time is it? It's like maybe around noon right now. I plan to just knit until late afternoon, nighttime. I don't know how much I'm gonna get done. We know that I always underestimate how long knitting takes, and so in my mind I'm like, maybe we'll be able to work up until the ribbing point, but friend, I don't know. We're just going to be knitting and doing our best. If I could knit up until the ribbing, that would be actually super amazing, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself. This is genuinely my first time sitting down to knit in a couple of weeks. I feel like the star of the pattern, what really like catches everyone's eye about the pattern, is the cinched waist. But I have mentioned before that I did make this pattern, like I have attempted this pattern before, and I made it all the way up until the sleeve, and I found that between the decreases and like the cinched waist, the sweater is a lot smaller than you're expecting it to be. I'm going to omit the decreases, forget about like the cinched waist section, and just stockinette, you know, up until the ribbing, and then also make, you know, like the ribbing a little bit shorter. Does that make sense? That's kind of my idea and plan. And then also I feel like it'll be a little bit easier because I won't have to keep up with the decrease rows. Like I'll just be able to mindlessly stockinette. Also, I have to keep, you know, track of the buttonholes, but that's not too bad. And I'll just be able to, you know, without thinking about it, stockinette up until the ribbing, and then do the one by one ribbing, and then move on to the sleeves. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do, just because I am making the second size. The first time that I did it, I made the first size, which ended up being absolutely too small, especially when I did do the ribbing. And so I'm thinking, in my head, that just makes the most sense. Also, I'm kind of just like not in the mood to do decreases, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do like one row of decreases. I think I'm going to do maybe two like rows of decreases, and then after that just knit everything in stockinette, just to give the cardigan a little bit of shape. I don't want it to be too boxy. Does that make sense? Would that work? I've only made one other cardigan in my life. My favorite things, what was it? Cardigan number 9, I think. And so I'm not super familiar with like the fit and the construction of cardigans, but I'm thinking in my head, it's making the most sense to maybe do like 2 rounds of decreases, and then after that just do stockinette all the way up until my desired length and then do the ribbing. So I think that's what I'm going to do actually. I left off on this dark purple. I'm trying to think like what color am I going to do next. Maybe keep going in with this lighter beige-ish color. This is my Malabrigo. This one just because I do have, you know, a decent amount of it. I'm thinking this is going to be the next color, and then I'll do some purple, and then should I introduce this taupe color? I haven't used it yet. I think in my mind I was gonna save these two colors, like this little hot pinkish purple. This is Malabrigo. This taupish color is my Cascade 220. I think in my mind I was saving these two colors for the ribbing and for the neck. But then also it's like that's not, you know, like I have a decent amount of this taupe color. And so I don't want to only use it in the ribbing section. I feel like to maximize my colors, does that make sense? I should add it to the sweater, and I have not added this color yet. We're just gonna be knitting, friend. We're just gonna be knitting. I will be checking in periodically just so that we can see my progress. I want to finish this sweater. I want to say soon, but honestly, I'm really not putting pressure on myself because first of all, I know that I'm not gonna finish it soon, whatever that means. And then like I mentioned, I really have not been in a knitting mood. I haven't been inspired lately. And so I feel like, I don't know, my approach to knitting right now is just to knit as much as I can when I feel like it, but not really like putting too much pressure or stress on myself or any of my projects. I have found that if I get like too stressed or too overwhelmed, my periods of not wanting to knit do end up being maybe a little bit longer than I would like them to be. So I do want to finish this cardigan soon, but genuinely like it's vibes at this point. It's really vibes. Also, I'm trying not to get too worked up over the color placement and just letting things be. Really, today's goal is to just let go, let flow. We're working off of vibes and a little bit of motivation, and honestly, genuinely, that's just gonna have to be enough for today. I'm trying to start knitting right now, but all of my yarn is like this tangled mess, and I'm sitting here debating on whether or not I'm going to cut the yarn. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't like cutting my yarn, but it is so tangled up, and I also like don't want to stay here for 30 minutes trying to untangle it. So first world problems. I think I'm gonna spend maybe like a couple of minutes trying to see if I can untangle it just a little bit, but friend, if I can, I'm just gonna cut it. I hate to do it, but like ugh, I want to start knitting already, and like this is starting to irritate me. So untangling the yarn actually didn't take that long, thank goodness. Now it's time to knit. It's literally like 3 o'clock and I haven't even started, so let's go. I've done 2 rows. I've done 2 rows so far. It's been like an hour. Of course, I've done 2 rows. Friend, we already know that I knit slow, but then on top of that, I get distracted. But then also on top of that, these are a lot of stitches that I have to do. Like the rows are longer. You understand what I'm trying to say? And so it's taking me longer to knit them. But I'm on the first decrease row and I'm trying to like read through the pattern and figure out if I'm doing this correctly. I'm supposed to decrease 2 stitches before each of the stitch markers. We had the stitch markers when I was increasing like for the raglan shape. Those stitch markers are all gone and I only have the stitch markers left where we, what's it called, like the underarm stitch markers. And so I'm trying to like read the pattern and figure out, is that correct? Or did I remove the other stitch markers? That would make sense, right? Like we would only be decreasing under the armpits. The shape would look really weird if there were like decreases in the middle of the rows, right? Let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. I'm just going to assume because in my head it makes the most sense to just decrease under the armpits. I think a decrease in the middle of the row would look strange. I hardly ever knit anything in one solid color. I do love, you know, using lots of colors in my projects, but then at the same time, I don't know, my color management is trash. Like, I've never been able to really stay on top of it. Okay. Wait, why am I confused? Oh, knit until 2 stitches before each stitch marker. Okay, got it. I have 3 stitches in between both of my stitch markers. Is that correct? I hope I did this right. I feel like it shouldn't matter too much, right? Like the decreases are right underneath the armpit, and so they're not going to be very visible. On one of my videos, somebody commented and was like, oh, I made this cardigan exactly how the pattern was written, you know, like with the decreases and with the cinched waist, and it makes it difficult to wear like a shirt or your clothes underneath the cardigan and then also button it up. And I was kind of thinking, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like literally, friend, when I made this cardigan the first time, like my first version of it, I was not prepared for how teeny tiny the waist got after the decreases, and then after sizing down the needles to needle sizes. I was like, whoa. Like, I'm sure it would have turned out beautiful, you know, in the pictures. And overall, I do love the design of the cardigan, but I feel like I was gonna say, I feel like I want to actually wear my piece though, but no, like genuinely, this is taking me quite some time to make it, and I'm obsessed with this color scheme. I don't own anything this color. Like this is very like a unique thing for me, and I want it to be more than just a show piece, more than just, you know, something that I photograph and I make content about. Like genuinely, I want to wear this and I want to wear it out in public and figure out ways to style it, and so I do love the cinched waist. I do love the original shape of the cardigan. Maybe one day in the future I'll make it, you know, the way that it's written. But for this version, my number one goal, well, my number one goal is just in general to finish it. I feel like I haven't finished a really big project in a long time. But then also I want it to be something wearable. I want it to be more than just, you know, something that I can take pictures of and say that I completed. Like, I have every intention on incorporating this into my wardrobe. I guess technically once I'm done the body, I could add the buttons. The way that the pattern is written, the button band is already built in to the body, so you don't have to, like, after you knit the body, go and create the button band, which I really like. That's very unique. I've never knit anything like that before, and so technically once I'm done with the body, I could add buttons, and I'm trying to think like what kind of buttons do I want to add. Honestly, I'm either going to add like some really cool maybe wood brown buttons or mismatch like different shades of purple buttons. I'm really trying to think, and like I don't know, I think mismatch buttons would be really fun, right? Especially since it's already, you know, the cardigan is so many different colors. I feel like it's already kind of like, what's the word that I'm looking for? This piece is very eclectic. I don't know if that's the word that I'm trying to use, but that's the best word that I can think of right now. And so I feel like doing just simple uniform buttons, like, I don't know, this piece is already so kind of weird. I feel like I need weird buttons to match, you know? I will say also on the pattern, it includes the stitch count, friend. I don't care nothing about a stitch count. I really don't. At least for this specific project, I am not counting the stitches. It's saying that at this point, I'm supposed to have 200 stitches. No, literally no way I'm counting stitches. Make a decreased row every other A row. Okay, so we're going to purl this one. We're going to do a regular B row, a regular A row, a regular B row, and then one more decrease. Yeah? So I'm going to purl the purple, and then the B is going to be this light brown color, and then I'm going to do one more round of the purple, and then I will change. I'll probably change the A and the B color at this point. I still don't know what color I'm going to change it to, but I guess we will figure it out when we get there. This is what it's looking like, friend. This is what an hour of knitting is looking like. I've gotten an hour of knitting has gotten me what, like 3 rows. In my defense, we do have 200 stitches across one row, and I do not knit fast, and also I get very distracted easily, so it ain't my fault. It's not my fault. Okay, so it's like 9:30 right now. I had every intention on just knitting for the rest of the night until it was time to go to sleep. But my friend invited me out, and one thing about it, I ain't gonna turn down a night out. So this is how far we've gotten in, how long have I been knitting? Maybe like 4 or 5 hours-ish. I've literally done what, 2, 4, 5 rows. I know that's not a lot in hindsight, but hear me out, hear me out. Considering I haven't really knit much in the last few weeks, we're gonna take what we can get. I'm really happy with this cardigan. I'm loving the way that it's coming out. This is going to be probably my project for this week. I have started to pick up just a little bit of momentum. I do have one more decrease row, but after that, I'm at the point where I can just stockinette mindlessly. And so this is going to be the project I think that I'm going to commit to at least for the next week or so. But other than that, friends, tell me what you think. How is my striped cardigan coming along? What are you currently working on? Do you ever have periods where you're just like, ugh, I'm not really into knitting? Let me know. I would really love to know. It is so hot, like literally my edges are not even sticking to my forehead anymore. So that is my cue to go. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.